Aliveness is not an energy level of high energy. We can definitely think that it is, right? We see young children in a lot of energy and they look alive. We see somebody who is lit up for some reason, they're high energy and they feel alive. And aliveness can absolutely create high energy. But it's really important to understand that aliveness isn't about feeling like you have lots of energy. Aliveness is so much deeper than that. Aliveness is about communion with creation. Aliveness is about fundamentally meeting yourself and your desires. That's both the bigger, more grand desires of your soul, the desires that are really here to be part of your destiny, and the everyday little desires, not addictions, not things that make you feel good, actual desires. And that in and of itself is a whole conversation. Our true desires don't come from the ego. They don't come from the mind. They come from our soul. They come from our heart. And they exist in the full plethora of emotion. And they elicit the full plethora of emotion. But aliveness is when you meet yourself in those desires. Because the most beautiful thing that people don't realize about desire is if you desire something, you first have to acknowledge that you don't have it. Now, in a lot of teachings around quantum leaping and these things, they tell you to be in the energy of already having it. But I come from a different angle. Because the reason we don't have something, whatever it is, whatever your desire is, that you seemingly do not experience as having, is because there is something there for you. And you will go on not having it, or having little bits of it and then losing it again, or not having it in its fullness, until you meet yourself in what is being represented in the not having, the ultimate wound of separation that desire is pointing to. So aliveness happens when we meet ourselves there. We meet ourselves in the rejection of not finding intimate love. We meet ourselves in poverty of not having wealth and abundance. We meet ourselves in failure of not having success. And there, when we really meet ourselves from the state of the I am, from a place of wholeness, not identifying with it, meeting ourselves as the isness, the never-changing aspect of self, aliveness awakens, and it just coursed through my body. Just like that. And it is orgasmic because communion is orgasmic. But it's not necessarily all of these constant waves of orgasm. It's not constant arousal. It's not constant elevated states, right? It's so easy when we are speaking to and learning a concept to grab a hold of what we believe that concept is. And I did this personally with aliveness. Initially, I thought aliveness was arousal. And then I thought aliveness was this heightened state. And all that does is create a chase, a want, a desire for that state of being. But states of being are not who you truly are. And the minute you attach to a state of being, you are actually radically limiting yourself. And you are not in a true state of unity because you are attached to a particular emotion or particular state. Now, as you do this work and you commune over and over and over, you meet yourself over and over and over again at the point of separation, the belief of, the illusion of separation. You naturally become in states more and more of love, of joy, of bliss, of all the things. But you still have to be always willing and ready to let it go. So what is aliveness? This week, I was very tired and my creative energy was on the lower side. Now, creative energy is cyclical, just like the tides, just like the seasons. Your creative energy is not just this thing that is constant. And if you believe it is, you are most likely disconnected from it to some degree. Now, everybody's different here. Some people will have more consistent energy, creative energy I'm referring to, and some people will be wildly cyclical. I myself am wildly cyclical. I have immense bursts of creative energy and then an ebb, just like when the tide is out as far as it goes near the full moons, right? And everything is exposed and there's no water. Understanding your cyclical nature in your creative energy is very important for ecstatic creation and coherent creation. But this week, my creative energy was in an ebb, and I've learned the beauty of these ebbs. They're not bad. They're not wrong. They're utmost important to then the state of flow. But that doesn't mean I'm not in a state of aliveness. My body was tired. My creative energy was lower, not gone. My creative energy is never gone. But I remained in communion regardless, right? So oftentimes when we hit these ebbs, we begin to judge. We judge ourselves for not having energy. We judge ourselves for not being creative, not being lit, not being all the things that our society tells us is where our value is. But your value has nothing to do with your energy levels or what you produce. Right? Your value is intrinsic. And so that judgment is what separates us, right? Or gives us the experience of separation, because we're never truly separate. And now we really do feel all the things. We don't feel alive. We feel burnt out, or we feel suppressed, contracted, like heavy, like non-aliveness, numbness. There's this like heavy, like a weighted blanket feeling. Okay. So my body this week has felt a little bit like the weighted blanket, but my aliveness is still there. So I met myself. I've been meeting myself every day and everything, because communion is not just a moment. True communion is all the time. You can't just say, oh, now I want to commune with creation, but this rest of the time, I'm going to be separate. And now I'm going to commune and unify, and now I'm going to be separate. It's not how it works. So throughout my days, it was, in the mornings, my body being tired. I'm an early morning person. I get up every morning at 4:30. Most of the time I wake up 10 minutes before my alarm. I'm just up. I love my mornings. Well, today, which is Thursday out of the whole week, I gave myself an hour sleep in. I actually reset my alarm. I never do that. Not because it's wrong or bad, but that's just not who I am personally. My body needed it. Every day as my body's been tired, I'm meeting myself in that fatigue. What does my body need? Does it need a day of rest? I work out 6 days a week. Does it need a day of rest? And this is where it's always about meeting ourselves, right? Because it's very easy to say, I'm tired, I need to rest. May or may not be true. You're tired, you need to work out, maybe. You're tired, you do need to rest, maybe. That's a dynamic situation. There's not one answer to these questions ever. It's about learning how to communicate with yourself, right? So listening to my body, getting up. I was like, I don't want to go to the gym. I don't want to go running. Okay, well, what's actually nourishing for me today? Go to the gym or go running. Beautiful. That's what I'm going to do. With discipline, maybe doing it more gently, having compassion that my body is tired. I'm not pushing myself. I'm not forcing myself. I'm meeting myself. I'm meeting where my body feels tired. And I'm meeting simultaneously the wisdom within me that says it is nourishing to work out. Same with all of my other, I didn't really want to meditate this week. Okay, what's actually true here? I meditate every day. It's rare that I do not. What's actually nourishing is to meditate. So I meditate. I intermittent fast 5 days out of the week. Didn't want to. I wanted comfort. But that comfort can be beautiful and comfort can be true. There are times where what is nourishing to us is comfort. But when I asked and I met myself in the I don't want to intermittent fast, I want to just eat something or have cacao. I met myself there. I breathed into my body. I felt it. I just want comfort. There's nothing wrong with that. I didn't judge that feeling. I didn't judge the desire for the cacao or something yummy. I met it. I met how there's that urge in the body, right? Which isn't necessarily a true desire. And I met that feeling in the body. I felt the urge, right? We're so quick to either feel it or reject it because what we don't want to do is feel it. And the feeling is where aliveness lives. You cannot be in states of aliveness without feeling. I've tried, didn't work. Shocking, I know. So I met myself in those moments and I felt the craving, right? And I breathed and I met myself as the I am state. There's nothing wrong with this. I love you. And what is true here? What is actually nourishing? Because, hey, if my body tells me, my being, my wisdom, it's not always necessarily my body, right? Tells me that there are lots of days that I don't intermittent fast because my body's like, no, I need more. Fantastic. So more is nourishing? Yes. Great. Then we're going to do that. Right? This is aliveness. The little moments in life when you are meeting yourself. You're meeting yourself in the thoughts. You're meeting yourself in the feelings. You're meeting yourself in the humanness, right? Because it's so human to be tired and want to just crawl under the couch and, have cacao and watch TV. And that's beautiful. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And there are times when I do that. Absolutely. There are times when I'm in a deep state of ebb and it's like, there's no go. There's a no go on anything. But I meet myself there fully. I don't judge myself for it. I don't do it and then think I'm so lazy. I'm like, I'm all in it. I'm all in the pleasure of whatever that pleasure is, right? So the pleasure can be what is nourishing for me right now is laying on the couch and being cuddled up and snuggling and being in comfort. Great. And then I'm going to be in that. I'm going to meet myself there fully. And simultaneously meet anything that comes in like, oh, you're being so lazy. Oh, get off your ass. Oh, okay. I'm going to meet all of that as well. Because every time we meet all of those states, aliveness. And then other times, like this week, it was like, no, we're going to stay disciplined. That's what's actually nourishing for us today. And Thursday, I slept in an hour and I feel much better. Today, my energy levels are up. But all week, I still worked out. All week, I still, because that's what was told to me from my wisdom that is nourishing. So I'm all in on that, right? I'm not forcing myself anywhere. I'm not judging myself anywhere. I'm fully present to the wisdom that wants to move through me. I trust myself. And yeah, it's not always easy, right? Because there is the craving to find comfort, and there is the craving to all these things. And when we meet that craving, it's not about the craving. It's not about the comfort. It's not about the discipline. It's actually about feeling all of it. We're so quick to do whatever so we don't have to feel. And that is where aliveness is lost, suppressed, ignored, denied. So all week, my energy levels have been down a lot. I've been doing a lot less this week. I still worked out. I still remember, but work-wise, I stepped back, just gave myself breathing room. It was just kind of like, what wants to happen today? Not much. Great. I'll be in that state. I'm self-employed, obviously, so I can do that, right? And I'm here to create a world where we can do that, whether we're self-employed or not, because it's our own internal wisdom. How do we create where employees can do this too? Whole nother conversation. But I was lit and alive all week. I have been such in love with life. I have been such in a state of creating, even in the stillness, right? Because just when you're in an ebb, or there is a pause, or there is stillness, doesn't mean creation is not happening. Creation never stops. And on my run this morning out in Gaia, I was in such a beautiful, lit up communion with Mother, with creation, with life. This is what humans crave. And it makes me emotional right now because I craved it. And I sought it in ways that I thought I could get it, through external, whatever it is, through the partner, through the money, through the thing, through whatever. And I found it in me now. In me now. In me now. That's life. Now. In me now. Me now. Me now. Not me as in, of course, selfish and all that nonsense. But me, I am my life. You are your life. It's very obvious. When you stop existing, your life stops existing. You are your life. So if you want your life to be alive, ecstatic, like art, you have to meet yourself there. You have to meet you. You are it. Right? So this is what we crave so deeply, is all of the little moments with the relationship to self, the relationship to our human, the relationship to our self, capital S, the relationship to source, creation, the I am that you are all of, right? That interrelationship, that into me I see, the intimacy of you. And there is only the you in this moment, period. All of these ideas that there are next levels use and use in others' timelines, and there is relevancy to that. There's absolute truth to that. But it's always placing you somewhere else. when all of it exists here now. All of the versions of you, all of the timelines, all of the levels, all of that is here now. In the most profound way is right here. This breath. This breath. This breath. The aliveness. So, despite my energy levels being low this week, my aliveness was very, very present. Despite my creativity being in an ebb state, my aliveness was very, very present. The beauty of life as art.